And good morning to you all, and welcome to the starting lineup. Delighted to have you with us on an absolutely beautiful Wednesday in the Ozarks. Ned Reynolds along with
Scott Purrier.
And for the next 2 hours, we are right here talking sports and whatever. Like to hear from you at 417-447-1021. 447-1021, both the call line and the text line. They are synonymous. Hey, give us a call. We'd like to hear from you. Starting lineup brought to you by Play It Again Sports, Fremont Shopping Center, Battlefield and Fremont, Springfield. Great deals for you at Play It Again Sports. You can't go wrong, folks. Marshfield Chevrolet at the I-44 exit. Couple of left turns, and you're there at Marshfield Chevrolet. Citizens Bank of Rogersville, 2 Roots, that's what they call their branches, Roots, and they're right there. One is adjacent to Highland Springs, and the other is in Rogersville itself. And Swing Right Golf, located at the south end of Campbell Avenue, a little bit north of Nixa, to get that golf swing down perfectly. That's what they say, it's Swing Right Golf. Well, All-Star Game last night, what'd you think?
Oh, my gosh, it was boring.
It was pretty one-sided.
Yeah, well, it was just as great as the home run derby was to watch with the drama at the end with Jordan Walker on Monday night. It was 180 last night, and it was, and I love my country. I love patriotism. I love our 250th celebration of our birthday. It was too much. I mean, once the game starts, play the game. Yeah. Let's don't have the players holding sparklers and reenacting the Sandlot.
Part of it, I agree. That was too much. I did think it was rather interesting that they all came out and signed a baseball independence or Declaration of Independence. That was a little. It was interesting. Let's put it that way. But yeah, there was a little bit too much pageantry involved.
And it was. I fully expected in the 8th or 9th inning to have those guys still in the game come out in like Thomas Jefferson wigs and the colonial outfits or something. But I mean, they just tried to cram too much into it, and we've kind of our text line. We need to get it going again. First of all, we need a sponsor. If you're out there and your business wants to sponsor our text line, I promise you, we'll read it every day, 10 times a day, and mention your name every time. So. Salespeople, let's get a sponsor. Let's go. Let's get that text line sponsored. 417-447-1021. But we'll check it throughout the show today, tomorrow, the rest of the week, and get your thoughts on what's going on. What did you think of the All-Star Game? Was it boring? Was it too much? But I just, I was exhausted, and it seemed like I went to bed, and it still wasn't over. And usually, I try to last till 10 o'clock. And I had just seen enough by 9:30.
You and I are in the same position as far as retiring, but I wanted to wait and see if Jordan Walker got up there. Yeah. And he did in the 9th inning, and he struck out. It was one of the 15 strikeouts.
Just like everybody else in the National League.
15, think about that. Yeah. What did puzzle me a little bit, they were saying, well, who's going to get the most valuable player? Well, there's no standout player, so they gave it to Cody Bellinger because of the 2-run single. Yeah. I would have given it to Dylan Cease. He started the whole thing with a strikeout of the National League side in the first inning and kind of set the tone for the game.
Yeah, but, you had, 5 pitchers?
There were 5 others, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Bellinger was the only one that drove in multiple runs, even though it was just a single in the first inning. That Christopher Sanchez came out. He was wild. I think he walked a couple, and it was funny because I think lefties against him, lefty hitters are hitting like 135 against him. And the 2 run-scoring singles were by 2 left-handed Yankees, Bellinger and Ben Rice.
I think what happened to him was, first of all, this guy had 50 2/3 scoreless innings to challenge a record about, 3 or 4 weeks ago, or maybe a little bit longer, but over and above that, he wasn't sharp. And I think once he realized he wasn't sharp as far as his control was concerned, he started to groove the ball. And when you do that, hey, watch out. Things can happen.
Yeah, it's just kind of a blah, and just too much going on. I mean, the in-game fireworks display and trying to talk to the guys when they're at the plate. Did you see that part?
It was a Pete Crow Armstrong?
Well, no, Kyle Schwarber, his earpiece kept falling out, literally every swing.
I didn't know they were talking to him at bat.
Yeah, he's in the box swinging, and they're talking to him. And I mean, we're just trying too hard, aren't we, to make it a spectacle? And, just play baseball. The absolute still best part of the whole thing is the introduction of the players, and the reaction. Of course, Philadelphia, if you weren't a Philly, you probably got booed. If you were especially if you're in the National League East, if you were a Brave or
if you were a Juan Soto,
yeah,
really level.
Exactly, you were going to get booed, and Wilson Contreras, he leaned into it with the "come on, bring him on," and stuff, and Jordan Walker, you knew that was coming after he.
It wasn't as bad as I thought.
No, it wasn't, and he smiled and tipped his cap, but yeah, it was just too much, and maybe they'll learn from it. I did see where Rob Manfred said they're going to start addressing the rule that allows guys to opt out if they pitch on Sunday. Because you look at it, and I think 8 of the top 10 pitchers in the National League in WAR were not there.
I would have liked to have seen Mizorowski there.
Yeah, they were there. They just didn't pitch. Yeah. They weren't available to pitch. And I guess my thought is if you're there, you ought to be able to play. This stuff of going and getting to partake in everything and then saying, yeah, I'm not going to pitch, it's kind of BS. I mean, if you're going to go, like Byron Buxton, I'm shocked that he didn't get hurt during the introductions of the players, that didn't pull a neck muscle or something, tipping his cap. But if you can't play, you shouldn't be able to go.
Well, that's exactly right.
Now, unless it's like a Justin Verlander, a guy like that it's more of a career tribute and stuff, but I don't know. I didn't.
Was Ohtani there? Did he show up?
I
don't think he did.
See him. No, I didn't see him either. And there's so many guys. When I have to say, who was it? Tristan Rogers. When you and I talk about baseball every day on here, I still don't know who he is. I know he's with the White Sox, and I know he got hot here in the last couple of weeks. But
is he the Savannah Banana?
Who I don't know.
There's one of them who is and has now morphed into Major League Baseball.
Really,
that may be who it is.
Which would make sense because with all the other stuff they were trying to make it a circus last night. That would be it. Travis Bazzana, the rookie for the Guardians, second baseman,
and he did get up.
Yeah, he's on there. Does he deserve to be an All-Star? No. And so I don't know. It was just a mess, and I'm just glad that it's over. And of course, tonight's dead. If there was a dead day, there is a dead day in college because I know that's the day that they all go out and drink and get ready for finals. Today is dead day in the baseball world with absolutely nothing.
There is nothing.
Yeah. Why is there only one game tomorrow?
It is the Major League Baseball's newest approach now. They're having to start the traditional halves of the season. Yeah. Well, you remember the first half, they started with the standalone game, which was the Yankees and the Giants. Mm-hmm. Well, this is a standalone game to start the second half. It's all by design. The Phillies and the Mets were chosen. Well, it's at Citizens Bank Park. So instead of moving to another locale, they'll have this is the standalone game. They will not play on Friday.
Okay. And it's really kind of copying the NFL Thursday night opener, when they've got the stage to themselves, right? Kind of the same thing.
Well, for television.
Yeah.
It's solely on ESPN, and they get the governing rights for this one. Yeah. And that's another subject. My God, these games are all over the place. I can't take it.
Well, and like last night, I mean, there's a certain tolerance level for the showmanship. But an All-Star game shouldn't start and last, even especially a 4-0 game where all the offense literally is in the first inning. It shouldn't take three plus hours because of all the other crap you're doing during the game.
Actually, very good point, Scott. It ended about 10 after 15 after 10, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. It should have ended before 9:30.
Well, and I think the telecast itself came on at 7, and I think first pitch was about 7:25.
Correct.
And these networks are trying so hard to fill, and most sports fans that are tuning in, they just want to watch the game. Tell them for 5 minutes what's going on, maybe late injuries, and then get into it instead of this 25 minutes of 4 former players and a female co-host all debating whether, so-and-so is going to pitch more than one inning and stuff. Just play. All right, I'm off my soapbox. Our text line, 417-447-1021, brought to you by Ned Reynolds and Scott Purrier. Your sponsorship.
The two old men who are, get these people off my lawn right now.
Here's our lineup today. Bill Oakley, our former PGA Tour official, administrator for about 30 years, our guy we bring on to preview major championships. Bill Oakley will join us at 7:30 to talk about the Open Championship, who he likes. It's over in Royal Birkdale in England. First time since I think like 2017 it's been there.
It's right on the Irish Sea.
Yeah, the weather is very weird this week. It's very hot and dry. And, typically you're used to tuning in on Saturday or Sunday and seeing these guys in sweaters and the wind blowing at 30 mile an hour and rain. It's hard and fast and dry. As Scotty said in his press conference, that you're going to hit drives that are going to run forever, because they're going to hit hard, dry ground and nothing to hold them up, and they're going to roll. And can you keep it in the fairway?
By the same token, though, it is a very rugged terrain that they have. A lot of hills, and the gorse is there, and so forth and so on. It's a tough links course.
Well, you got to try to stay out of it, of course.
Exactly.
See what I did there?
Very good. Very good.
Bill Oakley at 7:30. I'll be here all week. Well, I won't be here all week, actually.
You're not done here Friday, no.
Yeah. And then we got a double dip of football bears coming up, 8 o'clock and 8:30. You can put either one in that Ozarks Legends category that we do on Wednesdays. Going to visit with Kellen Lindstrom at 8, the former Glendale High School standout, spent his first couple years at Tennessee, transferred back to the Bears back in January, and now is settled in as one of Casey Wood's new rush-ins. We'll talk to Kellen at 8 o'clock. And then 8:30, Ramon Green Jr., who had a breakout year last year as kind of more of a third down passing back with the Bears, and Ryan Beard, former Nixa standout. He's going to be the guy this year, it looks like, in the backfield for a lot of the work, and we'll talk to Ramon Green Jr. at 8:30 today. We touched on the All-Star Game, big World Cup soccer match, the one that everybody has declared the championship match. England and Argentina play today. They say not so fast, but it's an upset. We've got Spain beating France 2-0 yesterday. Soccer is the absolute perfect sport for me to have on in my home office on TV while I'm working, because I can work. The screen, if I'm at my home in that office, my TV screen's on a far shelf behind my computer screen, so I can't really see it while I'm doing stuff. But with soccer, I can sit there and work, and then all of a sudden they tell me when I need to pay attention, because you hear goal or something like that.
If there is such a thing, or you can look up and see somebody passing.
Yeah, and I don't look up for that.
And that's not going to happen.
No, yesterday was great. I had it on. I'm following along. I hear commotion. The announcer's getting excited. I peer my head over and look around the corner, and there's a goal. And then you see it 75 different replays from different angles, and you're caught up. You
say it's an upset, and France was favored in their high-scoring team and all that. But about maybe 2.5 or 3 months before this, they had one of the multitude of tournaments they have over in Europe, and Spain beat France in that one too.
And hadn't they beaten them like the last three? I think something like that. Yeah. So Spain wins 2-0. We talked about it yesterday. It was the ultimate clash of a really, really good defensive team against an offensive juggernaut, and defense wins championships.
Case in point is, I think this is correct, how many shots on goal did France have for the entire game? Three,
yeah. Their goalkeeper was eating a sandwich back there.
Having a good time.
Sitting around watching his, checking his text messages on his phone and doing the stuff we do all day.
Checking out the crowd.
Exactly, yeah. But Spain advances, 2-0 win. They shut down Mbappe and the France offense. This is, again, my lack of knowledge on this. I did not realize there is a third-place match on Saturday.
It's Saturday at Hard Rock Stadium.
Yeah, and so that they do get to play one more time. You lose in the semifinals. I wonder how those teams really feel about that. Is it like Misha and basketball, where you go up to the Final Four and you lose in the semis, and you're like, do we really want to play a third place?
Well, you are getting a bronze medallion for it, if that means anything to them.
Probably going in a drawer at their house if it's a bronze, yeah. So Argentina and England today, 2 o'clock, live from Atlanta. The winner goes on and gets Spain on Sunday afternoon. The loser plays France in the third-place match on Saturday. Argentina, the defending champion. I'm not big into politics like you are. These two don't like each other either, do they?
Oh, no. Yeah. No. In fact, they had a skirmish, and I think more like 15 or 20 years ago, somewhere around there, over the Falkland Islands, I think is what it was. So there's a bit of political discourse.
One of your last two chances to see Messi in action in the World Cup. He is the all-time leading scorer in World Cup goals with 21. England's got Harry Kane. It'd be a great matchup of stars, and I don't know who the favorite is. I think it's probably Argentina.
Argentina probably, but Scott, when you take a look at what they did in the tournament and the fact that they have been living on the edge this entire time, England is a very, very good team. Very good team. Would not surprise me if the English won it.
I heard the Argentina coach in the press conference yesterday say, because they beat Cape Verde, had to scratch out a win there. They had to come from behind to beat Egypt. They're down 2-0 late in that one and get the win. He said, hey, for all this talk about how bad we've been, we're doing something right. We're here in the semifinals.
That's exactly. They have won.
Yeah,
that's just it.
They found a way, and it's their fourth consecutive trip to this stage, the semifinals, of course, defending champions in 2022. So Argentina and England, 2 o'clock today on Fox, and Michelle Boswell straightened us out yesterday with a point that I hadn't thought of, is that it's 2 o'clock here, but in their countries, it's probably prime time. Right,
that's
exactly
close to
right.
It is prime time.
Yeah, so
I think in England it's 6 hour.
A 6 hour difference. So it'll be 8 o'clock, right in the middle of TV viewing time for them. What about
pub time?
Same with Argentina.
No, I think Argentina is probably very similar to us here. I think, but I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, let's take a break. Come back and talk about the few other stories we've got before we talk to Bill Oakley at 7:30.
You're listening to the starting lineup. We'll be back in just a split second. And our number for texting and calling is 417, the area code, of course, 447-1021. Text us, call us. We'd like your comments, especially on the All-Star Game last night. That's now, but the ongoing World Cup, which is into the championship finals. I'm Ned Reynolds, along with
Scott Purrier.
Okay, fire away.
Yeah, and tell us if it was too much for you last night, too. I guess there might have been a little bit of a hangover for me with the home run derby the night before. I know you didn't see it, but
I did not.
I've watched most of those in my adult life, and probably the most memorable one. And it helped because it was a Cardinal. It was a Cardinal that we like, Jordan Walker, and just the way he won it with home runs on his final 6 swings to get it done. But let us know your thoughts, 417-447-1021. We were talking in the break, will there be an All-Star Game next year with all the labor strife upcoming starting the 1st of December? What do you think?
I think it's very, very iffy, as a matter of fact. The whole circumstance, and what's interesting, Scott, is I know that talks have been going on, and they don't publicize it all that much because they're kind of rudimentary items that are discussed. I don't think they've really gotten into the big deal yet. But we haven't heard too much about it. It's kind of been swept under the carpet a little bit. But the big argument, do you have a salary cap or do not have one? Players don't want one. Owners do want one. It all comes to a head on December 1st when the contract is voided. It's over. It's expired. Okay, what do? Do you lock the players out? That's what the owners probably will do, lock them out, and then go on and continue talking, continue arguing, and doing circumstances that we do not understand. But the fact of the matter is the amount of money, if they don't have a 2027 season or it's disrupted in any way, think of the amounts of money, the television money, and everything that gets involved in that. How do you justify it? How do you justify losing that amount of money?
That's why I think there will be some type of compromise, because both of them are shooting for the moon right now. Mm-hmm. And that never works because the other side's never going to go, oh, okay, let's do that.
No.
Because it's going to cost us a lot of money. And so I think the other thing that'll be interesting to watch, too, is all these teams with their hot prospects. And I saw this the other day on social media that if you are on the 40-man roster, you're not eligible to play in the minor league season.
That is correct.
Minor league will continue next year.
Yep.
So we'll have Springfield Cardinals. But you'll see these teams, I think, with the really top prospects that aren't on the 40-man yet, avoiding putting them on there so those guys can continue to develop, because otherwise they're not able to do anything to play.
I wonder when that has to be done, too, and I would assume it's before they have that special draft where if you're not on the 40-man roster. And that would come, I think, after December 1st, if I'm not mistaken.
We'll take a look here during the next break and pull up the Cardinals 40-man because Reniel Rodriguez, Liam Doyle, guys like that, I don't think they're on there yet. And those are guys that the Cardinals, if there is a lockout, they're like, okay, well, we need those guys to continue to get ready to come up and help us, when we do start playing again, and that would be beneficial. So that'll be something to watch. The other part of that, anytime you have a labor situation like this, the guys who are making big money and have put a lot in the bank, it doesn't bother them nearly as much as the guys making the minimum of $799 or whatever it is now, $799,000, and have no salary coming.
And that is the majority of players. Mm-hmm. You hear about the big money. That is true, and there are guys who are making enormous sums, but that is a minority of players. The rank and file player doesn't make that amount of money and wants to play, and so do the other guys. They all want to play. So to have an ongoing lockout like what might happen, or does the other shoe fit here where people have learned their lesson and don't want to do that? Look what it did to Major League Baseball after '94.
Took a while to recover.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
And in some cases, hasn't recovered.
Lost some fans that said, I'm done with it. And nobody likes, in any way, shape, or form, millionaires arguing over money. It just turns off the rest of the country, especially in times where the economy is not great and things like that going on. So we'll see. Your second half, as Ned mentioned, kicks off tomorrow with one game, the Mets and the Phillies tomorrow night. Then everybody plays except those two on Friday. The Royals are home to face the Padres, starting a 3-game set on Friday. Then they have the Giants coming in on Monday. The Cardinals will open up out in Arizona Friday for 3, and then they go on to play the Angels from there.
Incidentally, did you see the incident in last night's game where the Cardinals' big-time reliever and Riley, and he hit Caminero?
Yeah,
it was an accident.
It got away from him. It was up and in. Caminero, because he's so good, and why he's so good is largely because he's basically crowding the plate, claims the plate is his, and it got him on the finger. He went down in a heap. The entire place is like, oh, crap, really?
But I thought was classy, though, is when they of course, they took x-rays, and the x-rays were negative in terms of any fracture. Yeah. When they had the x-rays red, Riley was there.
Yeah. And he was concerned. You could see he was visibly concerned, like, dang it, what did I just do? Because that's one of the bright young stars in baseball, Junior Caminero, and the way he went down and the way he went just straight back through the dugout back to the clubhouse to get x-rays made you think it might have been a lot worse. He
later said through a translator that he was scared. Why he did that.
Mm-hmm. Springfield Cardinals, they're back home this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Amarillo Sod Poodles are here, one of the great nicknames out there. Here's the promotions going on. Christmas in July, Friday and Saturday. Those are night games, 7:05, 6:00, or 6:35 on Saturday. Santa Claus will be there. I remember when Santa Claus was at KY3 when I briefly worked there at Christmas time, and it was a bad Santa a couple times.
It's a bad Santa all the time.
Yeah, exactly. It's the ladies were lining up to sit on Santa's lap over there. And
no, they weren't.
The smell of Old Spice and bourbon mixed together was quite the attraction for the luncheons at KY3 back then. So Christmas in July, Friday, Saturday, Santa will be there. Championship trophy ornament giveaway to the first 2,000 fans on Friday. Holly Jolly fireworks. Cashew Chicken Christmas in July specialty jersey auction that benefits the Greater Ozarks chapter of the Knights of Columbus. Then on Saturday, Christmas in July, Santa again, American National Santa Claus Bobble Body giveaway. What's a bobble body? I guess it's the body's as big as the head, maybe. I don't know. And then the first 2,000 fans on that, again, the Cashew Chickens Christmas in July specialty jerseys. And then Sunday, you've got kind of your regular day Highland Dairy Kids Ice Cream Sunday, Kids Run the Bases, $5 general admission tickets, and family 4-pack game. 4 tickets, 4 hats, 4 hot dogs, 4 Cokes for one great prize. So they're here Friday, Saturday, Sunday, off Monday, and then they're on the road down in Springdale Tuesday through Sunday for the Northwest Arkansas Natural Series there. Speaking of contracts, you know who else got paid yesterday? Trevon Brazile. He signs a deal with the Denver Nuggets, 4 years for $9 million.
This is interesting. He did sign a contract.
He did. He got a great deal for a second-round draft pick, and of course, Trevon Brazile is the former Parkview and Kickapoo standout here. Played 1 year at Mizzou, then finished his career at Arkansas and had a great run.
How much has he played in the summer league?
Well, that's a great segue for me because he had 32 points last night. He had went out and had, I think, 23 in the first half. The Nuggets beat the Thunder out in Vegas in that summer league. It's mostly rookies and guys trying to make an impression. Trevon hit 6 of 12 three-pointers yesterday, 11 for 19 overall from the field, had 6 rebounds, and played a team-high 27 minutes. So I can't remember if the news came out before or after that, but he either celebrated the contract or he went out and got the contract with that effort.
I think he probably celebrated it because they knew fully well what they were drafting. An interesting story, too, I have an associate who you know very well who's out in Vegas on vacation right now, and he went to see a game, and he texted me. He said, Ned, I am sitting right behind LaWanta Dawson, who played for the Lady Bears back in the early 90s, I think it was, and she had a son who had signed a summer contract with the Boston Celtics. His name is Wiggins from Florida State. Okay. He's a cool 6'10", thank you, but didn't get in until the very end of the game. I'm wondering about how these summer contracts work. Do they automatically go into a regular contract with the team, or do you make a decision later on?
Probably, I would think the latter. You know, that it's a like Keith Palick III. He's not got a lot of minutes out there with the Knicks, and I think they're taking a look, and then they're probably going to go, you know what, we'd like to place you in the developmental league.
And that's just it. Would they do that?
Yeah, I think so. Now with Trevon, I mean, he's going to be on the Nuggets roster with that kind of money and get to play immediately there. So congratulations to him. And, you know, that's why they do this. That's why they go and they play summer ball and they do all the things they do since age 6, 7, 8 years old is the hope that they get drafted and get to sign that contract.
Now, this is just a little bit going off on a tangent, so to speak, but I hope Brazile gets on his knees and thanks Robert Yanders for everything. Yanders was a great teacher to him.
Absolutely, and you know, I guess the thing that the cautionary tale with this is Trevon Brazile is about a 1 in 1,000 of these kids locally that get to do what he's doing right now, which is, you know, play at a Power 4 school in the SEC, get drafted, sign a $9 million contract after getting picked in the second round.
Well, Anthony Tolliver, another one.
Yeah, but he didn't get drafted.
No. He
had to go the free agent route. Yeah, so let's see what else. Open Championship starts tomorrow, bright and early. Bill Oakley is going to join us here in just a couple minutes.
Do you have, by any chance, the matchups? And I want to know specifically what time it starts. I bet it's 1:30 a.m., I imagine.
Is it? It seems like it's always been around 3 or 4 in the morning. Do you think it's earlier than that? Yeah, we'll look that up. A couple other notes before we go to break. The Sixers are trying to recruit LeBron James to join them. I think recent dialogue had him leaning more toward going back to Cleveland. But the Sixers stars are trying to get him to come play with them, including Jaylen Brown.
Right. That's who it is, Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, they're all saying, come finish up with us for season 24.
This is interesting. Embiid is still on that team under, I guess, a long-term contract. How would he fit in with the LeBron James?
I think that just like everybody else are like, hey, LeBron, shoot it when you need to, when you want to.
Drive when you want to.
Drive when you want to. We'll go rebound. We'll put it back up and in after that. So one other note, a couple other notes actually. Ole Miss is considering suing LSU for a couple of their players that Lane Kiffin poached away to that roster. They were guys that
would Lane Kiffin do something like that?
No, neither one of those. Pete Golding and Lane Kiffin are choir boys in this world. But I was looking because this is going to be a fun matchup. And Bill Oakley's an SEC guy, a Bama grad and Bama fan. We'll talk to him a little bit about this too. But September 19th, 6:30 kickoff from Oxford, Mississippi.
LSU and Ole Miss.
LSU at Ole Miss.
Is it listed kickoff time?
6:30.
Oh, it's an evening game.
The ABC Saturday night game, the 19th of September. Get your popcorn ready because that should be a very hostile environment with Lane Kiffin coming
Will you allow me a second or two
Sure.
To go back into the memory bank? many, many, many years ago. Gosh, I can remember it so well, too. It was a Saturday night, and it had no date or anything like that. I was in high school, and I'm in my room listening to a game totally dark, and it's LSU, Mississippi. And it's the broadcast is coming up from New Orleans, and you can hear the game. It was 0-0 until about the third or fourth period, somewhere around there. And this guy gets a kickoff and goes 70 yards for the touchdown for LSU. Billy Cannon.
Yeah.
Do you remember Billy Cannon?
Yeah, I remember the name. Mm-hmm.
Dr. Billy Cannon later became a dentist, played briefly with the Kansas City Chiefs, and that was it, 7-0. And that was, and every so often you'd hear the Ole Miss, no, I'm sorry, the LSU fans, go to hell, Ole Miss, and it was a general cry.
Yeah, I think there'll be something directed at Lane Kiffin in that kind of
I'm
vein
sure
as
there
well,
will,
too,
yeah.
with this, too. But it should be fun. Let's take a time out, talk to Bill Oakley on the other side.
Let's see the starting lineup, and we return in a second. And we welcome you back to the starting lineup, brought to you by Play It Again Sports, by Swing Right Golf, by Marshfield Chevrolet, and by Citizens Bank of Rogersville. And Reynolds along with
Scott Purrier.
And a special guest.
Yeah, and I was going to say the break discussion between us was brought to you by Senior Health Plans of the Ozarks, Scott Purrier, Medicare agent. Because,
how about by your local urologist?
Yes, we were talking about sleep habits and pee breaks and all that stuff. Three old guys talking health issues there, but we welcome in Bill Oakley. That's a great segue to Bill Oakley, isn't it?
It makes me feel so good.
Exactly, pee breaks and health issues. And Bill Oakley, by the way, folks, ladies and gentlemen, former longtime PGA Tour executive administrator, our guy we turn to for previews when we have a major championship coming up. Bill, good morning.
Good morning, guys. It's always great to be back, at least either in person or by voice, back in one of my favorite areas of the country.
Bill, first a couple things. We were talking in the last segment about SEC football. We know you're a Bama guy, a Bama grad, Roll Tide, all that stuff. You'll probably be tuning in on Saturday, September 19th to watch Ole Miss and LSU, will you not?
Yeah, when the Antichrist comes back to Oxford is what that will be. They will hate him like the Iranians and everything going on right now. There will be so much venom. He will need a security force guarding him for sure. Well,
and LSU travels so well, and their fans are just saints, even when they go on the road. I'm sure it will be a beefed up security detail for that on both sides for that game.
Yeah, hell hath no fury like a head coach scorned his previous school, doesn't.
Yeah, and two of the cleaner, nicer guys follow the rule. Head coaches too, that I think in the SEC.
But Bill is also saying, hey, let them spill all the venom on each other because Bama will be on the schedule a little bit later on.
do your Tide play both?
We'll be on LSU's schedule. Oddly enough, we don't play Ole Miss.
Oh, not playing Ole Miss this year?
Not Ole Miss, but they obviously play LSU.
Bill, we bring you on to talk golf. It's Open Championship Week. Royal Birkdale in England is the site. To answer Ned's question, the first groups go off at 12:35 Thursday morning our time. Feature group Scotty and company going off, what did we say, 4 a.m.?
4 a.m., yeah.
4 a.m. This is kind of the hard-to-follow major of all of them every year. Do you actually get up, or you just kind of get up when you normally do and see what's going on?
No, I get up and watch this because you can watch golf from roughly 4 o'clock to 9. And then you got the rest of the day. So I love it. And then I go out and play afterwards. So that's my day coming up the rest of the week. And, the RNA did their best to create drama for this event. They've got, as you said, you've got Scheffler and DeChambeau and Tyrrell Hatton going off about 4 o'clock your time. Scheffler, DeChambeau. That's going to be a good marquee group. And then they're followed by some major championship winners in Rory, Xander Schauffele, and Matt Fitzpatrick, going off at a more reasonable 9:15 Central Time. So for those who can't get up too early, you can catch that marquee group. Rory, obviously, two-time defending Masters champion. Schauffele won the Open in 24 and has been in contention in every major this year, too. So, and you got Fitzpatrick, who won the won the 2022 Open Championship, if memory serves me, and currently ranked number 3 in the world. So he's improved his status this year, and that will be an interesting group. And then you've got Jordan Spieth and John Rahm and Tommy Fleetwood a little bit later in the morning. Now, Fleetwood will be the sentimental favorite this week because he grew up just down the road from Royal Birkdale. So a lot of these members there and a lot of the local fans in the Southport area on the coast there of this links course know him personally. I'm sure he will be trying to win his first major to what is already a stellar career resume. So Tommy Fleetwood, the sentimental favorite this week.
Bill, have you personally been to a Royal Birkdale? And if so, how does it differ from any other links course that exists?
I have not been, but I have studied it. Now, they've made some improvements. It's one of the finest courses that is on the rotation for the Open. They've made some improvements. They've added a new par 3 on which is hole number 15, so look for that one. They've got a long par 5 that they've added on hole 14. They've got a short risk-reward par 4, which is hole number 5 that they've added. New tee boxes everywhere, enhanced runoffs around 12 of the greens, and all the bunkers were reshaped. So they've done a complete renovation to this golf course, and at 7,200 yards or so and change, par 70 though, it'll be still a strong test, especially if those gale force winds start coming off the Irish Sea. It'll be a strong test, and they have 2 par 5s only on the back 9 of this, Ed. So you're going to have to scrape and claw to get 12, 14 under somewhere along in there. Should win it.
Bill, Scotty, the defending champion, his press conference, he was talking about, I guess they've had an unseasonably dry and hot season
Right.
over there where the fairways, the rough, all of it's a little burned up right now. And he said basically you're going to hit a drive and it's going to roll and roll and roll and run out. Is that different from what's usually over there with these Open Championships and the links courses?
No, not on links courses. Links courses usually play hard and fast, and the weather is a predominant factor. And you've got to control your ball because you can run it from the fairway into the rough real quick. And, we remember when Jordan Spieth won by 3 at Royal Birkdale in 2017. He had a 3-shot lead on the front side of that golf course, and by the 10th tee on Sunday, that was totally evaporated. He finished birdie, eagle, birdie, birdie to win by 3, but he was all over the place on that golf course. But he did get to the clubhouse to win the Claret Jug. But that's sort of links golf for you, and because it's links golf, any of these guys could win. It's hard to pick a favorite this week and say, they can, this guy should win this thing because the weather conditions and rub of the green mean so much on this kind of golf course.
Bill, to my knowledge, other than the Scottish Open, this is it for a links course. How do you practice for a links course when you've been in this country all season long?
Well, because of the weather, I mean, it's really tough for U.S. players because they don't play links courses very often. And the U.S. Open last month was played on a links course, mm-hmm. So that could tell us something. But generally, the game is played on the ground and not in the air on a links course. You've got to play for the bounces and the run, as opposed to most courses in the U.S. where you're throwing darts at a soft green. That's the difference, and that's why the wind coming off the Irish Sea is going to be really key to see which player is going to go to the top of the leaderboard on Sunday.
I don't know how, and I want to get your thoughts on this. The Open is my least favorite tournament to watch, and I think it's probably because, to me, it doesn't matter what the name of the course is. It looks like the one from the year before and the year before and the year before. How do you feel about that? Do you get fired up to watch this different brand of golf?
Yeah, this is always one of my favorites because it is different. They are fighting the elements, and you have to play a different style of golf than what they're typically playing week in and week out. So I think that variety of it, to your point, I think because they have to play different shots, you end up seeing guys in a different environment than they're typically playing in, where they're just hitting 7-irons, 220 yards, 110 feet in the air. They have to really work the ball and have control of every club in their bag to win this golf tournament. That's why anybody can win it. Whoever has the hot hand, whoever's striking the ball in the center of the club face, that's a requirement this week.
Bill, when the golfers take a look at the fairways on a links course, are they similar to what they see in this country, or do those ridges, and that's what I call it for want of a better term, does that make a difference?
No, it does make a difference. The fairways are not as clearly defined on a links course. It looks a little bit like the lunar surface, if you will, looking out there from the tee. And like I said, they've refurbished this golf course. So it's going to make it far more interesting than it would have been even, 9 years ago when Jordan Spieth won. So it'll be different to see which player can adapt, which player can adjust, and bring it to the clubhouse on Sunday.
Scotty's the defending champion. He's ticked off. He missed his first cut in 4 years, so a fired-up Scotty may be a dangerous Scotty and a threat to repeat there. But you've mentioned a couple times a name that really has fallen off the face of the earth in Jordan Spieth. When he won there, he was the 23, 24-year-old hot sensation, was going to win 15 majors over the next couple decades. What happened to Jordan Spieth?
Well, two things. One, he tried to change his swing to get more length. He was not a long hitter, and that's always dangerous when you do that. So he went into a little bit of the slump, and then he had a wrist injury, which he ended up having to have surgery on that. So those two things combined really set him back, and he's been inconsistent since then. He's played some good rounds, but he has not played 4 good rounds in a row, and that's been the difference with him. But you're right, he was the heir apparent to the top of the game at that point when he won 9 years ago.
Bill, in another subject, since they made the announcement, the Saudis, that they were pulling out monetarily, we haven't heard too much about LIV. They thought they might explore other options. Can you update us on that?
No, I don't know. I haven't followed anything, and there's not anything to follow. I mean, they can basically they're going to try to look for funding from other sources across the world to keep the tour going. I don't know that they're going to be successful in doing that. I've heard no progress reports from them. Would
the Americans be much more prone to pulling out of that, or are there some who are committed to staying?
No, I think they're pulling out. I think DeChambeau will be back on the PGA Tour in some point next year, as well as several other players.
Bill, I don't think we've had John since the announcement, or at least we haven't discussed it with you. But the plan in 2028 to have two separate tours with the Championship and the Challenger. What are your thoughts on that, and what will that do to the Korn Ferry Tour?
We're going to have to wait and see. I mean, there are you essentially have got the haves and the have-nots to a degree that are going to play there. The elite players want to play for the accelerated purses, so they're pushing out a lot of the guys that have rounded out tournaments in the past, and it'll be interesting to see, with shorter fields, how it works out. It's more of the elite players that are going to do this time. So as opposed to having 156-man fields and grind it out. So we're going to have to see how it turns out. Personally, I don't like it, because I think it hurts a lot of those cities who have really been the backbone of the PGA Tour for 50 years, who have hosted events in between majors, and now it seems to be like we've got this. Here are the haves, as I say, and here are the have-nots. And I'm not sure the title sponsors of those, kind of tier 2 events are going to be satisfied and stay with it. I think that's going to be the unwinding of the tour as we know it, and it'll become more like what you see in professional tennis now, where you've got a few significant events a year. Hopefully I'm wrong.
Bill, I found the statement by McElroy to be extremely interesting. He said that the second tour is really a glorified Korn Ferry, and yet Korn Ferry will still exist. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah. The Korn Ferry Tour is exactly what it was intended to do: identify the very best players not currently on the PGA Tour and give them a shot or an opportunity at ascending up to the top of the game. So that tour is set, and it's going to continue to do exactly what it's doing. The rub here is those players who were, let's say, numbers 60 through 200 aren't going to be playing in those signature events per se. Mm-hmm. And so you wonder how long that will continue. Certainly the tour has a plan for that. But are those tournaments, are those cities, are those sponsors going to remain intact? That's the question that has not been asked or answered at this point.
Bill, we got
only time will tell.
About a minute left. Wanted to ask you, you're aware that we lost our Price Cutter Charity Championship event here for the first time this summer. It's not here. That's where we all met you and how we started our friendship. Highland Springs, they wanted to move the tournament from August to June. The Korn Ferry Tour did. Highland Springs says we don't have any openings in June, and that was that. Your experience here, the tour would come in, especially in the later years, and they were tired of seeing 12 under and 10 under, and Highland Springs was kind of defenseless unless you mowed it down and got it really fast on the greens. Is that something that more courses are going to be harder to get for a week-long deal now because of that, especially on the Korn Ferry Tour?
Yeah, I don't know what their objectives are right now, but I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find a more manicured course than Highland Springs. That Zoysia fairways and Zoysia tees are just unmatched, really, and it's exactly what you look for. I think it's unfortunate, and I would have liked to have seen the tour make an accommodation to keep Highland Springs on the rotation.
Before we let you go, your pick for the Open.
I'm going with Scheffler. Okay. I think he dogged it to get some rest and didn't want to tap out on Sunday, and I think he wins it this week.
Way to go out on a limb there, Bill. We appreciate that. So, let me guess, you're picking Bama to make the playoffs in football, right? Too.
Gotta hope so.
Yeah, all right, Bill. Thanks as always. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon. Okay.
All right, guys. You have a good day.
You too.
He is former PGA official Bill Oakley. We'll take a timeout on the starting lineup and be right back. Okay, what do we have for the second segment?
Second segment is a double dose of Bears, football Bears. This is their off day. They've got drills coming up soon and workouts still going on now, but we're going to talk to Kellen Lindstrom, the former Glendale standout, here coming up in about 4 minutes. And then Ramon Green Jr., the running back from Nix for the Bears, going to join us at 8:30. Art Haynes coming in as well at 8 o'clock, and looking forward to it.
We will take our mid-show timeout. Brief break, more coming up. Please, folks, stay right where you are.